Today on The Young and the Restless, Nick fumes at Billy, Claire asks for help, and Kyle hatches a plan. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At the club, Nick runs into Phyllis in the dining room and joins her. They talk about Summer finding a hot new designer for Marchetti. Nick's irritated by the idea that Summer is dating someone and says he'd better not be playing their daughter. Phyllis would get on a plane and go over there herself if he did. Nick's eyes widen. He asks if she's okay. She seems a little edgy and weird. Phyllis insists she's good and is slaying every day. Nick knows her. Phyllis asks him to stop looking for problems when none exist. He asks about Daniel. Phyllis says they're getting back to a good place. Nick eats her breakfast as she explains he didn't want to work at Abbott Communications and is still reeling over Heather's death. She thinks he needs a purpose and a passion. She thought the company would fill that void, but she was wrong. Nick gawps. "You were wrong?" She laughs. "Shut up!" before admitting that Billy fired her. Nick's irritated. He guesses Daniel's not the only one who needs a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Tearing up, Phyllis confesses she needs one too. Nick gripes about Billy firing Phyllis at a time like this. He suggests she go to Milan and see Summer. Phyllis doesn't want to be a third wheel with her and this new guy. She's got this covered. "When have you ever known me to not have a plan?" Nick asks if he needs to be worried. She teases that she's waiting for confirmation for a meeting with Aristotle Dumas. She's hoping he'll fund her new project. Nick questions this. He's a recluse. Phyllis says, "I'm very resourceful." Nick tells Phyllis that very few people have the privilege of meeting Dumas face to face. As angry as he is at Billy, this may not be the worst thing in the world. He has a history of crashing businesses. Phyllis needs something new for her and Daniel to focus on. Phyllis is sure Billy will crash and burn without her. Nick asks why she'd go to Dumas for money. Why not just come to me? Phyllis isn't doing that again. Nick points out the Grand Phoenix worked out great for both of them. She doesn't feel comfortable entering another financial agreement with him that could affect their relationship. "We're friends. We're pals. We're co-parents." She doesn't want to screw up that bond. Nick agrees. Phyllis admits that she was spiraling and her son was pulling away from her. She hopes they'll plan something new together. She wants to come up with something to inspire Daniel. Nick feels that's a lot of pressure. Phyllis insisted on taking the lead like she always does. She looks at it like a challenge. "I'll figure out something. I'll do it. I've got this." Nick has an idea. He says, "Let's get out of here." Claire joins Nikki and Victoria at the Newman Ranch and says Cole seems stronger every day, but wouldn't let her visit him for long. Victoria's headed over there later. Claire has news and explains that it doesn't look like she and Kyle will be moving in together after all. She asked him to put it off for a little while since Victor was still dead set against it. Nikki helped her see that more time might help. Victoria's taken aback. Nikki explains she just suggested they slow things down a little. Victoria's angry that her father continues to manipulate and bend family members to his will. He doesn't deserve to be pacified. Claire's sure Victor thinks he's protecting her and asks her mother not to be mad at him. Victoria's been through this so many times and now he's doing it to her. Claire admits that maybe deep down things are moving too fast for her. It's not the worst things to slow things down a bit. Victoria can't argue that. She just hopes her decision isn't based on what Victor wants. Claire wants to please him as well. She has to find a way to make this work for everyone. Victoria hates to see Claire spinning her wheels over this impossible mission. Her grandfather won't ever think anyone is ever good enough for her. Claire thinks she can change his mind about Kyle. She has a perfect plan. If she can show him Kyle has changed and how much he loves her, maybe he'll come to terms with it. Nikki will do whatever she can to help. Victoria loves her determination. Claire needs both of them to help with her plan. I want to throw a party. Nikki and Victoria aren't sure Claire's plan will accomplish what she hopes, but they'll both help. Claire is sure this whole ugly conflict will soon be a distant memory. After Claire's gone, Victoria and Nikki discuss Claire's party plan. They have to try and help her. It might work. Victoria thinks her father will only dig in deeper. What if this blows up in Claire's face? Things could get worse than they are now. Then what? Audra walks into Crimson Lights and spots Kyle, who mocks her for not putting out a press release about her new company yet. They spar verbally as she insists it's still full steam ahead. Kyle needles her for bragging about a company that doesn't exist. She thinks the idea of her being his competition has really rattled his cage. Kyle warns Audra she can't get under his skin. He looks forward to Vibrante getting off the ground. He can't deny she's good at what she does. Audra warns he better not let his girlfriend hear that. He was talking about her business skills. Kyle admits she could probably give parts of Jabot a run for their money. Audra alludes to a secret groundbreaking product that everyone will want. Kyle tells her there are no surprises in this arena. Audra thinks he's out of ideas. You'd better watch your back, Kyle, because what I have planned, you won't even see coming. Kyle insists he's unbothered about her wonder product. It's either wishful thinking or a straight-up lie. Audra tells him to think what he wants. She has something that the Abbotts could never have. A female sensibility. Kyle argues that Ashley and Diane are leaders in the company. Audra says Ashley's not her. She knows what it takes to make a woman powerful and sexy. Pair that with her business acumen and soon everyone will be talking about Vibrante. He and Jabot will have to acknowledge her success. Kyle chuckles at her believing her PR spin. Holden spies as Audra warns Kyle to get ready. He's about to find out exactly how good she is. On the patio, Holden shows himself to Audra, who asks why he's not back in Los Angeles running things for Damien. Holden has news on that, but first wants to know what was going on with the guy inside. It seemed almost sexual. She and that guy definitely have history. Very much like what you and I have. Audra insists Holden's radar is way off kilter, but he's sure of himself. Audra fumes that she's not holding anything back. Holden knows all her little tells. Audra asks why he's always trying to get under her skin. Holden thinks, that's what she was doing to that guy in there. She wants him to back off, but he just wants to know who the guy is. She says, Kyle Abbott. He muses, of the Jabot Abbotts. Interesting. Holden asks Audra about her history with Kyle, but she just wants to know why he's still there trying to push her buttons. She wants to know what he's up to in Genoa City. Holden says looking into her eyes brought back a lot of memories. She notes they weren't all good. He reminds her they handled that situation together as a team. He remembers some intoxicating times, a rush he hasn't felt since. She snaps that this sounds like a personal problem. He'd like to feel that, again, with you, Audra. She smacks his hand away when he touches her chin. Audra wonders how many times she has to reject his advances. The answer is no. She's in a better headspace now and has something solid now. Holden muses that she also has something going on with that Abbott guy. He wonders what Nate would think about the encounter. Audra hopes that's not a threat. He witnessed a conversation between two business acquaintances. Nate couldn't care less. He just wants to figure her out. She tells him that will never happen. Just stay away from me, she exclaims. Holden warns, careful, Audra. You may just get your wish. At Jabot, Diane and Jack show Kyle some brooches that are lipstick holders. He thinks they're functional and classy. Diane says it was a trend in the 50s. Kyle muses that he was just telling Audra there are no new products in cosmetics world, and this proves him right. He explains his ex is starting a new company called Vibrante, and claims to have a revolutionary new product. They guess she's getting the funding from Victor. Jack wonders why the mustache would think a company run by Audra would be a threat to Jabot. They recap that they neutralize Victor's moles at Jabot, and Diane warns nothing they do will stop him. Diane says Audra can't be trusted, but Kyle argues if she has something new, they need to find out what it is. Maybe he could steal it out from under her. Jack warns Kyle against this and isn't worried about some new company. Kyle complains that she's ruthless. Diane agrees with Jack. Kyle asks what the harm is in finding out what she's up to. Diane thinks he could harm his relationship with Claire. Jack asks how he would do it. Kyle will find out about this super product. Jack doubts it even exists. Kyle thinks he knows exactly how to get the truth out of her. Claire arrives at Jabot and tells Kyle that her mother and grandmother are on board with the party idea. The only part of the plan that hasn't been confirmed is him agreeing to put moving in together on hold. He agrees to do it long enough for her to make this last-ditch effort. He wants her all in when they finally make the move. Claire's convinced her grandfather will realize they belong together. Kyle admits he has a plan of his own. It involves Jabot and one of its competitors, Audra's new company Vibrante. She claims to have a super product, and he has to find out if she has something viable. Claire asks what his plan is. Kyle says he'll have to get close to her to expose the truth. Claire cringes. What exactly are you suggesting? Kyle assures her it wouldn't be inappropriate. He knows what buttons to press to make her head explode. He'll fake some interest in her new venture to get information. Claire thought he wasn't worried about it. Kyle's not, but they need to know if she has a miracle product. Claire shrugs. If you really believe this is the only way. He assures her she has nothing to worry about. Claire doesn't look convinced. At the park, Phyllis thanks Nick for driving her out there. The fresh air is breathing new life into her. Nick says she can always count on him when she's having a rough time. She laments, "This isn't who I am, Nick." She's really been thrown off her game. She cries that what she's been through is too much for anyone to withstand. Nick's sure the worst is over. She feels like she's drowning. She feels the worst is yet to come. Nick takes her in his arms. She leans her head on his shoulder.